Since 1993, Mercedes is calling their cars of the upper middle class E-Class, and E stands for executive. And now they're presenting the brand new one. And today we're going to find out what has changed regarding to the engines, regarding to the driver assist safety systems, and regarding to the design. And what else the new E-Class is delivering, let's find out now. The car I'm driving is the E300e 4MATIC, which is the plug-in hybrid. And that means that my car is powered by a petrol engine with an output of 155 kilowatts combined with a 90 kilowatt electric engine. And this gives me a system output of 235 kilowatts as a maximum. And this, by the way, means 320 horsepower. And Mercedes says that this car, which always comes with an automatic gearbox, should only take 1.9 liter per 100 kilometer driven. Of course, only with a fully charged battery, which, by the way, offers 10 kilowatt hours of net capacity. And with that one, this car can then drive 59 kilometers as a maximum, purely electric. So I've just started my trip, and my car now shows me I didn't use any petrol at all until now. So I only use my electric energy here, and this really is nice. It still gives me a figure of about 40 kilometers of range, and so you can see with this combination you can really save some fuel. The new base trim level of the E-Class is called Avant-Garde, and this does mean that you do find a lot of bits and pieces inside of the car regarding to the technology, but you do also find a completely new design. And when you look at the front of the car, there is the brand new and freshly designed grille. And this grille gives the car extra width because it goes from the upper middle to the down, right and left. And this is flanked by the brand new headlamps. And the good thing with the headlamps is they are not only thinner, which gives the car extra width as well, they also always come in LED from now onwards. On top of this, you do find power domes on all the new E-Classes now as standard. The only one that doesn't feature that is the so-called exclusive line, which gives you an upright star here, not the central star in the front grille. And this new package really makes the new E-Class looks a lot more sporty and dynamic from the front. The times of a classic instrument cluster in the Mercedes E-Class is done, because from now on the car always comes with, as a minimum, two 10.25 inch screens. One for the cockpit, one for the infotainment system. You can have the optional bigger version, which is then twice 12.3 inch, which is the one we have in our car here. And that means you do find the fully digital cockpit, which you can configure like in different modes, so you can really make it look the way you want, provide you with the information you really need. And you will find this central instrument here for the infotainment, which offers you the opportunity to use it as a touchscreen, which is always now a touchscreen, so you can work with it like you've used to with your smartphone already. And this is as it comes now, as standard in the new E-Class. If you're interested in a Mercedes E-Class, you have to pay in Germany at least about 48,000 euros. And this is about nearly the same price for the entrance diesel or entrance petrol model. If you want to drive a plug-in hybrid like I do, they start at about 55,000 euros. If you want the 4MATIC one, which I drive, then you have to pay about 58,000 euros in Germany. But that's not the end of the story. If you want, for instance, the AMG models, they start at about 80,000 euros, but the top version starts at more than 120,000. In addition to the sedan, the convertible, coupe and station wagon of the E-Class were also revised. However, the scope of the modernization is basically the same for all variants. The only exception is the all-terrain version, because optically it now orients more towards the SUVs. At the side of the E-Class, nothing really has happened. You do find the same lines, the same shape, the same design, the same measurements. The only difference, if you buy an E-Class now, you will find as a minimum 16-inch alloys. The maximum you can order now is 20-inch. The most obvious change at the interior of the E-Class is for sure the new steering wheel. So on one hand, we got a completely new design. We have this quite massive central element with a star on top. We do have two bars to the left and the right, and one bar going down. And then you do find this very thick wheel around it, which is covered, I think, with leather or fake leather. Really feels very nice. And important is that the control elements are completely changed as well. So you do not find the standard sensors anymore, the standard knobs and all the stuff. You do find, yeah, like a sensor cluster. It really looks very nice with this metal look here on the top, with this glossy black over here. And it is something you can instantly use without thinking about it. And this really is very nicely made. On top of this, important is to know that the steering wheel now not only needs to provide steering informations to the driver assistance safety systems to tell them that the driver is still in control of the car. It now works purely electric or capacitive, I think it's the English word, sorry for my bad English there, so it now works the way that the steering wheel is measuring if the hands are on or around the steering wheel, and provides the system with this information. This is enough to tell the car, yes, the driver is still in full control of the car, so you do not need to steer to give the car this information anymore. This E tells you that I'm driving an electrified vehicle, and this is of course the plug-in hybrid. If there's DE, then you know this is the diesel version as a plug-in hybrid. But I think more important is the design at the rear. So you do find a new boot lid here, but more important I think are these new taillights, because they are now splitted. This is one thing, and the other thing is they always now come with LED technology on board. The rest of the end of our car looks very similar to the predecessor, but we do of course find a new rear bumper, and we do have these two exhausts here, which are unfortunately only fake. Another big change are the new seats inside of the E-Class. Mercedes had the idea to make them a bit more sporty, a bit more dynamic, maybe that's the wrong word, and they really made it. So when you look at them, the first thing is you say, ooh, they look quite tight, but I can tell you even a person like me, so a bit more massive, fits perfectly inside of these seats. And they do provide, I think, more support than the predecessors, and they do still provide loads and loads of comfort. So I really have to say Mercedes really did a very nice job with the new seats. Let's talk about the drivetrain of our car. The combination out of the petrol engine and the quite powerful electric engine and the automatic gearbox really works absolutely nice in that car. So that car drives like an E-Class should drive. On one hand, very easy, very nice and calm. On the other hand, dynamic enough or powerful enough to provide you with a smile on your face if you want to. But very important to know is you really have to find out what is your typical drive, because not always it makes sense to have this plug-in hybrid system on board, because you may just carry more weight because of the bigger electric engine and because of the battery. And if you don't need it, like you normally only drive long distance, that maybe is not the perfect car. So then maybe a powerful petrol or diesel will suit you more. So you really have to have this in mind to really get the most out of this. Aside of the benefits regarding to the tax, you have to be the right person, or you have to be the person that drives the right routes daily. Let's talk about boot size. Nothing really has happened. The new sedan features 540 liters of maximum boot capacity. If we talk about the Estate with folded seats or down-folded seats, that one then offers up to 2,100 liters. But we do drive the plug-in hybrid, and that really changes the game, because our car only delivers 370 liters, and the reason for that is this step in the middle of our boot. And this is about 12 centimeters high and goes down to the end of the boot, and the reason for that is this one covers the battery, and I think it's quite a pity that they didn't manage to get rid of that one while doing the facelift. Of course, the Mercedes E-Class features the most important things as standard. So for instance, you get climate control as standard, you do find digital radio as standard, and you do find Mercedes-Benz user experience, so MBUX, as standard as well. But on top of this, you can choose from loads and loads and loads of things. And I will not provide you with all the informations now, but I will give you some bullet points, or some top figures, because to be honest, the price list of the E-Class is about 90 pages thick. The range of powertrains of the new E-Class is as impressive as with the predecessor, but a bit more impressive when we talk about electrified engines. So you do find petrol and diesel engines with a power range between 115 up to 270 kilowatts. And on top of this, you do find the AMG models, and they offer, as we used, for instance, the E63, 612 horsepower. Important there, this is the same engine as we used in the predecessor. It's the 4-liter V8. On top of this, you do find the electrified engines, and like ours here, a 320 horsepower system output with a plug-in hybrid we drove. And there are the 48 volt systems as well. So there's a lot to explore here. And very interesting is that you do find a lot of new, completely new engines with the new E-Class. And about that we're going to talk in detail now.
The new 4-cylinder petrol engine M254 with its second generation integrated starter generator is definitely a real highlight. It offers up to 15 kilowatt additional power and 180 Nm more torque. Thanks to the 48-volt electrical system, it can recuperate energy and sail with the engine switched off. With its additional electric compressor, it quickly builds up boost pressure, especially at low speeds, and thus ensures a very dynamic response. In addition, the inline 6-cylinder petrol engine M256, which is also equipped with an integrated starter generator, can now also be ordered for the E-Class.
Being inside of a Mercedes, you don't really have to worry about the quality of the craftsmanship or the materials. And as with the predecessor, you do find very nice materials inside of that car. We do find leather, we do find things like metal, we do find very nice wood and very nice stitchings and all that stuff. So a really very, very enjoyable mix. And this is something that I expect from Mercedes, and this is something the new E-Class does deliver. Of course, the Mercedes E-Class does offer the most important driver assistance and safety system as standard. So one of them is, for instance, the emergency brake. And that can really prevent an impact, or it can reduce let's say the results of that impact. But on top of this, you can of course order loads and loads of extras regarding to driver assistance and safety if you want. And you do find a list here of the most important things. Some of them are in nice packages and some of them you can choose individually. And that then really makes your car, not only the car you want, but on the other hand, a lot more, a car that is a lot more comfortable, and on the other hand, a lot more safe as well. But on the other hand, if you do tick too many boxes, your car is getting very, very expensive as well. That was my first test drive in the brand new Mercedes E-Class. And when I look at the exterior, they call it a facelift, and this is really what they deliver. So you do find a lot more sporty front, a lot more sporty rear of the car. You do find a standard LED headlamps, LED technology in the taillights as well. Looking at the interior, what I really do like with the change is the completely new steering wheel. A lot more sporty, a lot more stylish, and something very, unique. And then the new seats fine as well, and you do find loads of new infotainment stuff. You do find MBX extended, new driver assistance, safety systems, all the things you really do like when you talk about an E-Class. And then when we talk about the engines, we do find loads of completely new powertrains, and we do find the one we drove, the plug-in hybrid, which already worked in the predecessor very well and is doing a nice job here as well. So I would say overall, thumbs up.